Ever bought a car and instantly regretted it? Like the moment you drive off the lot, you just know something's wrong. Or maybe it's after a few weeks of ownership that the reality hits. You've made a huge mistake. Yeah, that's exactly what today's list is all about. We're counting down the 15 most unreliable cars based on J.D. Power's predicted reliability scores. With car prices soaring and repair costs climbing, getting stuck with a disaster is the last thing you need. Stick around to see which models you should avoid at all costs. Starting off at number 15 is the 2019 Jaguar I-Pace. This car was supposed to be Jaguar's futuristic leap into the EV world, featuring a 394 horsepower electric drivetrain, all-wheel drive, and an advertised 234-mile range. However, with a J.D. Power reliability score of just 64 out of 100, the I-Pace ended up proving that even electric Jaguars can suffer from the classic issues you'd expect. Real-world testing revealed that the car rarely achieved its promised range, and owners soon began reporting charging failures, touchscreen blackouts, and sudden system malfunctions. The infotainment system is sluggish, glitchy, and about as user-friendly as a pile of tax forms. Some owners even experienced rapid, unexpected battery drain, so severe that in a few cases the battery needed a complete replacement. By the way, this repair alone can set you back around $30,000, roughly half the price of the car when new. Used 2019 models now sell for between $30,000 and $40,000, which is tempting, but you'd better have a backup plan for those inevitable trips to the repair shop. Next up, perhaps surprisingly, sitting at number 14 is the 2020 Toyota Prius. Yes, a Prius made the list. The car that's long been considered the poster child for reliability clearly didn't live up to its reputation this time around. With a J.D. Power reliability score of just 64 out of 100, even this famed hybrid couldn't escape some serious issues under the hood. Numerous reports reveal electrical failures ranging from random dashboard warnings to full system crashes that sometimes force drivers to restart the car mid-drive. Interestingly, Toyota appears to have quietly cut corners on interior materials with the 2020 Prius. Hard plastic everywhere, cheap-feeling buttons, and a general lack of the solid construction you'd expect from Toyota. The massive 11.6-inch touchscreen sounds exciting until you discover it's unintuitive, laggy, and doesn't even support Android Auto on certain trims. The only plus point is that it remains incredibly fuel efficient, averaging 56 miles per gallon, which is a big draw for hypermilers. Yet even Toyota loyalists were surprised by its unexpectedly low reliability score. A used 2020 Prius still fetches between $22,000 and $30,000. So if you decide to take one home, be sure to triple check the electrical system and be prepared for an interior that feels plasticky. Now, here's something awkward. Another Prius made the list, but this time it's the 2020 Prius Prime, the plug-in hybrid version designed to offer 25 miles of electric-only driving before switching over to its 1.8-liter four-cylinder hybrid system. Somehow, the Prius Prime manages to be less reliable than the standing sibling. With a J.D. Power score still lingering around 64 out of 100, it turns out that adding more technology only opens the door to additional problems. Many used models suffer from battery degradation, so that 25 miles might be more like 15. And the fact that Prius Prime is noticeably slower than the regular Prius, the extra battery weight makes it even more sluggish, meaning 0 to 60 takes nearly 10 seconds. And much like its non-prime sibling, it's got the same lackluster interior and a sluggish infotainment system. But since this one's even heavier and more complex, there's even more to go wrong. Still, a used 2020 Prius Prime commands a price between $24,000 and $27,000, largely due to its fuel-efficient appeal. You'll save money on gas, but are you really saving if you're compromising on reliability down the road? Moving on to number 12, we have the 2021 Audi Q5. The brand has always been known for its luxury, performance, and high-tech features, but this model comes with a long list of issues that belie its prestigious reputation. With a J.D. Power reliability score of just 63 out of 100, it's clear that Audi still struggles with reliability. Audi's MMI system was once one of the best in the business, But in 2021, they decided to ditch the control dial and go full touchscreen. This change resulted in an overly complicated system that makes simple tasks like adjusting the AC feel unnecessarily difficult. And of course, there's the underlying reliability problem: faulty electronics, transmission hesitation, and turbocharger failures. Repair costs are so high, a failing water pump replacement runs around $1,000. Turbo issues can exceed $2,500, and transmission repairs are even more expensive. Despite these concerns, a used 2021 Audi Q5 still sells for between $28,000 and $42,000, leaving you with a luxury badge that you'll regret buying. Next, a minivan is supposed to be the most reliable vehicle on four wheels. But at number 11, the 2021 Chrysler Pacifica proves that not all family haulers are created equal. With a J.D. Power reliability score of 63 out of 100, this van comes with transmission issues, power sliding door failures, and electrical malfunctions. Chrysler's 9-speed automatic transmission is notorious for being jerky and unpredictable, sometimes even completely failing before 60,000 miles, which could lead to a transmission replacement costing over $5,000. Chrysler's fancy Uconnect infotainment system is great when it works, but when it doesn't, you're left with a black screen and no idea what your car is trying to tell you. Despite all this, a used 2021 Pacifica still goes for around $27,000 to $36,000. However, if you're in the market for a minivan you can rely on, I think you might be better off with the Honda Odyssey or Toyota Sienna in the long run. Okay, if you thought the regular Pacifica had problems, wait until you hear about number 10, the 2021 Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid. With the same low reliability score of 63 out of 100, this variant adds a hybrid system that only makes the list of issues longer. Chrysler even issued a recall on nearly 20,000 Pacifica hybrids because of a risk of the vehicle suddenly shutting off while driving. Beyond the recalls, the battery system hasn't aged well. Many owners report that the originally advertised 32-mile electric-only range drops to around 22 miles after just a couple of years. And while it still suffers from the same problematic 9-speed transmission, the added complexity of a hybrid powertrain means even more expensive repairs are on the horizon. There's also a significant cargo space drawback. Unlike a Honda Odyssey, where the seats fold neatly into the floor, the Pacifica Hybrid's battery pack occupies the space where the seats should go, eliminating the much-loved stow-and-go seats, which is basically one of the only reasons people buy a Pacifica in the first place. Today, a used 2021 Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid still sells for between $30,000 and $42,000. Considering all these issues, I'd recommend you buy a Toyota Sienna instead and call it a day. Alright, number 9 goes to the 2016 Fiat 500X, a car that proves that not all cute fun-sized crossovers are a good idea. With a J.D. Power reliability score of 62 out of 100, this little Italian SUV is big on personality, but even bigger on problems. The 1.4-liter model came with a manual transmission, which shockingly was the better choice, because the 2.4-liter version was paired with Fiat's dreadful 9-speed automatic transmission. And when I say dreadful, I mean it shifts unpredictably, lags when accelerating, and sometimes just flat-out refuses to cooperate. Some owners reported that their 500X would hesitate so badly at intersections that it became a safety concern. This Fiat is also riddled with electrical issues, but the suspension is the real villain. The 500X is absurdly stiff for a crossover. If you love long drives, stay away from this. A used 2016 Fiat 500X now sells for around $10,000 to $17,000. But trust me, there are better ways to spend your money. Like literally, if you want fun, get a used Mazda CX-5. At number 8, we have the 2021 Audi e-tron, an all-electric SUV that looks modern, futuristic, and premium. But with a J.D. Power score of just 62 out of 100, Audi still hasn't figured out how to make luxury and reliability coexist. Battery issues, infotainment glitches, and software bugs make this EV a bad option. And when you compare it to rivals like the Tesla Model Y, the e-tron just doesn't hold up. Don't get me wrong, it's not terrible, with a 402 horsepower dual motor setup and a 222-mile EPA estimated range. It promised luxury, tech, and electrification all in one premium package. However, that 222-mile range isn't as competitive as it sounds. In real-world conditions, owners have reported struggling to get more than 200 miles per charge, making long trips a charging nightmare. In comparison, Tesla's Model Y, 330 miles, or even the Ford Mustang Mach-E, 312 miles. It's just not great. The 2021 Audi e-tron still goes for around $35,000 to $50,000 used, but if you're considering an electric SUV, you should consider other options. At number 7 is the 2017 Volvo XC90. With its Scandinavian design and legendary safety features, you'd expect this SUV to be flawless. But with a J.D. Power reliability score of 61 out of 100, it turns out that Volvo's engineering wasn't as bulletproof as its crash tests. Volvo's Sensus system was meant to be a sleek tablet-style interface, yet in reality, it's slow and frustrating to use. Owners frequently report laggy touch responses and random system crashes. The XC90 comes equipped with an 8-speed automatic transmission that's known for rough shifts, hesitation, and occasional failures. And while it boasts a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, it honestly feels underpowered in an SUV of this size. To top it off, some XC90s have experienced issues with the air suspension system. Despite these issues, a used 2017 Volvo XC90 sells for around $22,000 to $35,000. It can be a fantastic SUV if you lease it and return it before the problems start. But if you plan to keep it long-term, well, your mechanic is going to know you by name. Alright, at number 6 is a car that should have been a reliability king, but turned out to be anything but. The 2021 Toyota Supra. With a J.D. Power score of 61 out of 100, this car is basically a BMW Z4 in disguise, sharing the same B58 3.0-liter turbocharged inline-6 engine, the same 8-speed ZF automatic transmission, and unfortunately the same BMW reliability issues. Right out of the gate, owners began reporting random electronic failures, engine management issues, and sensor malfunctions, stuff you wouldn't expect from a Toyota-branded product. Some drivers even experience ECU-related stalling, where the Supra abruptly cuts power mid-drive. Toyota left BMW's infotainment system largely untouched, meaning you get the infamous iDrive controls, which are clunky, menu-heavy, and frustrating to navigate. Performance-wise, yes, the Supra is a rocket, hitting 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3.9 seconds. But while it's quick in a straight line, the real question remains, how long before it leaves you with a 4-figure repair bill? Speaking of which, a used 2021 Supra sells for around $38,000 to $50,000. For Toyota fans expecting bulletproof reliability, this ain't it. Breaking into the top 5, we have the 2017 Infiniti QX30, a luxury crossover that never quite figured out what it wanted to be, sharing too many parts with Mercedes-Benz and sporting a J.D. Power reliability score of 60 out of 100. This SUV brings the worst of both worlds. Specifically, it's built on the same platform as the GLA class and powered by a 2.0-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine from Mercedes, paired with a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. That combination is infamous for jerky shifts, hesitation, and long-term durability issues. Owners have reported transmission failures as early as 40,000 miles, along with unpredictable gear changes that turn city driving into an absolute nightmare. Parts availability is another major concern, since the QX30 is built from a mix of Mercedes and Infiniti components. Finding replacement parts isn't always straightforward, with some Infiniti dealers having to wait weeks just to get a simple repair done. A used 2017 QX30 sells for around $15,000 to $22,000, making it one of the cheapest luxury crossovers available. But with a below-average reliability score, it quickly reminds you why Infiniti continues to struggle to compete with the likes of BMW and Audi. At number 4, we have Ford's attempt at an all-electric Mustang, the 2021 Mustang Mach-E. With a JD Power reliability score of 60 out of 100, this SUV may be fast, but it's also one of the least reliable EVs on the market. Owners have reported everything from faulty door latches to complete power failures, while Ford claims the Mach-E can fast charge at up to 150 kilowatts. Many owners have struggled to achieve more than 75 kilowatts in real-world conditions. That means instead of the promised 38-minute charge time, you're looking at closer to an hour just to hit 80%. Ford even had to recall over 50,000 Mach-E models because a faulty battery contactor could cause the car to lose power while driving. That's a dangerous issue when you're cruising at 70 miles per hour on the highway. Performance-wise, the Mach-E GT rockets from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3.5 seconds, and a used 2021 Mach-E still sells for between $35,000 and $55,000. If you're thinking of buying an EV, avoid the first generation of any new technology. Alright, number 3 is the 2018 Infiniti QX30. Wait a minute, didn't we already roast the Infiniti QX30 at number 5? Yes, and somehow the 2018 model manages to be even worse, earning a JD Power score of just 59 out of 100. Infiniti clearly didn't fix the issues from 2017, because the 2018 QX30 suffers from the same transmission problems, electrical faults, and overall poor reliability. The 7-speed dual-clutch transmission is sluggish when cold, randomly hesitates in traffic, and sometimes gets stuck in gear. Oh, and good luck finding parts, because this car is basically a rebadged Mercedes GLA. Infiniti doesn't actually manufacture many of its components. So, if something breaks, you'll be at the mercy of Infiniti and Mercedes dealers, playing hot potato with your repair bill. At this point, Infiniti should have just called it quits with this model, but instead they let it keep disappointing customers for another year. A used 2018 QX30 sells for around $16,000 to $24,000, which might sound cheap, but trust me, you'd be better off buying a Lexus NX. Moving on to number 2, we have the 2018 Range Rover Velar. If you've been around Land Rovers before, you already know why we're here. With a JD Power reliability score of just 59 out of 100, the Velar is the perfect example of a beautiful disaster. The entire interior centers around 2 massive touchscreens that look good until they suddenly stop working. Owners have reported glitches, unresponsive controls, and full system failures. The base model comes with a 2.0-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that's notorious for oil leaks and timing chain issues. The V6 models are even worse. Random coolant leaks, misfires, and engine shutdowns are all part of the Velar experience. A used 2018 Velar today sells for between $28,000 and $45,000, which means you're paying a premium price for premium problems. Unless you have a deep love for European luxury and a deep wallet for repairs, stay far away. Alright, taking the top spot for the absolute least reliable car on the market is the 2016 Land Rover Discovery Sport. With a JD Power reliability score of a poor 57 out of 100. That's a number typically reserved for vehicles that fail really badly. The 2.0-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder is prone to oil leaks, overheating, and outright failure. Some owners reported their engines needing full replacements before hitting 60,000 miles. It suffers from the same transmission problems we've seen in other models on this list, and the electronics are a nightmare. The digital dashboard randomly resets, the infotainment screen crashes, and the keyless entry system frequently decides not to work at all. Repairs are insanely expensive, and the resale value is terrible. A used 2016 Discovery Sport can be found for as little as $12,000, but that's only because nobody wants to buy one. This car earns its number 1 spot by failing in almost every way possible. You'll soon wish you had just bought a Honda CR-V instead. And that's a wrap. So, have you owned any of these cars? Did I miss any that deserve a spot on this list? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Before you go, don't forget to check out our recent video on 11 cars that break down before 35,000 miles. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon. Thanks for watching.